Hello and welcome to True Guidance Tarot. I'm Adriana Teodoro-Dier. I'm a spiritual medium and intuitive reader. I've got a message for Capricorn today. And the way this works is I've asked my guides for a message, and spirit as well, for a message that will be deeply meaningful and helpful for you as you navigate what's going on in your world. I also ask for advice, specific practical advice that you can implement straight away into your life, because I feel like that's very valuable for you. So if you're new to this channel, welcome, and you are strongly encouraged to subscribe, and I hope you feel inspired to. It's really beneficial for you to stay in contact with this high vibration information every week so that you understand what's going on and you understand how to integrate it from a kind of higher perspective. So let's get started. Now we're talking about, they're talking to me on kind of multiple dimensions here. We've got the Two of Cups for the energy around you this week. So we're talking about relationships, but the relationships can be on multiple levels. They can be partnerships that you desire, partnerships that already exist in your life, but also that partnership with yourself. And partnerships is just kind of, I know you're like, well, okay, give me general, it covers everything, right? But it's the idea of partnerships that are being called into question, because that's what we're investigating this week. And why this is so important and pertinent right now is you respond with the Empress card. You are so desperate to receive these relationships. So again, new relationships, that one relationship, soulmate relationships, and even a better relationship with yourself. You're in a position where you're just ready to receive it and nurture it and put it in your life. So that's all really good. The thing is that you really need to have a lot of awareness for what you're asking for when you're asking for relationships, so that you can make sure that the relationships are, one, beneficial for you, positive for you, and will help you grow. Now, I gave you kind of a sneak preview of these next cards. We've got the Judgment card, we've got the Five of Pentacles, and we've got the Ten of Cups. And I was looking at these cards and looking at them, and my guides very clearly said, lacking judgment. That's the blending of these two cards here. So in the past, when you have been trying to attract or improve or participate in your relationships, there has been a lack of judgment. A lack of good judgment as to what's good for you, what's beneficial for you, and what you actually really want. So a lot of us, in fact, everyone, I think this is just the way it works with souls down here. There's a happiness in childhood, and then there's a moment. There's something that happens that creates this kind of break, or creates a trauma. And the trauma could be very severe, like a divorce, or it could be maybe a little bit more subtle, but it's just something that is not, it creates this hurt, it creates this lack, it creates a negative experience in us, and we spend the rest of our lives trying to recover that childhood loss. And this Ten of Cups, it represents home, right? But it also represents something about our family life, something about our birth families and the environment with which we came into this world. And what's so interesting is that we started the reading with the Two of Cups. We've got the Ten of Cups coming to our attention, and I hope you can see this, but it's two figures kind of doing the same thing. They're both twined around each other. It's just that the Two of Cups is the beginning. It's like the promise of the relationship, like, oh, let's try each other out. And then the 10 represents the culmination, the fact that they have become now almost part of the same soul. They're one, they're entwined, they're really mutually beneficial. It's not just a maybe. There's a lot of maybe with this card. This is like, yes, fruition, maybe fruition. So as you're asking for these newer stages of relationships or different things, they're really wanting you to look at these past relationships with your family and really think about what was lacking and understand that we can't make up for it. There's nothing we can do in our life now that is going to make up for that trauma that we experienced in childhood. And okay, that sounds really horrible, and I don't want it to discourage you, but let me just kind of break it down for you. The trauma happened in us because of something external, but the healing happens internally. We can't pull situations and people to, oh my God, all the cards are flying. We can't pull situations and people to us now in our adult life that will ever change that event in the past. There's no amount of compensation. So, when you get in a car accident and it's not your fault and the other person's insurance pays you a certain amount of money, that certain amount of money never really compensates you. It doesn't compensate you for the lost time. It doesn't compensate you for the emotional junk you have to deal with because of the accident, any kind of skittishness you may feel now with driving, or even the healing process. Yes, it might cover the medical bills, but does it really cover the healing that takes you out of your normal routine and it puts delays on things? You know what I'm saying? It's like the compensation is never enough. And the same thing happens with here. If we try to pull relationships to try to bandage that hurt, so we try to pull father figures, we try to pull mother figures, we try to pull all these things that are trying to bandage that childhood wound, we don't pull the right people to us. And that's why they're saying lacking judgment, because first of all, no one can ever fill that wound for us. We have to do it ourselves. And second of all, you were pulling them to you from a place of lack because you were lacking love, or you were lacking support, or you were lacking cohesion. You try to bring this person to you, but because your initial intention was, I lack this, therefore I need that, you're actually saying, I lack this, therefore I want more lack. And you're thinking why would anyone ever do that? Why would I say that to myself? But that's how it works behind the scenes. We can't attract presence from lack. We can't attract positive from negative. Negative only makes more negative. Lack only makes more lack. So that's why it's so important to find this wholeness within yourself and to understand that you have the power and you have the tools and the ability to heal anything that has happened to you. And once you are healed, then it is much easier to attract beneficial relationships because you don't need them to fill something in you. So it's almost like you're shopping right now. You're thinking about these relationships that you'd like to attract into your life, these new ones, and you're just getting the specs. And this is through my guides and through spirit, they're trying to tell you, okay, make it right within you so that you attract the right thing. So that you put the right thing into your shopping cart and you go to the checkout with it. Kind of going crazy with metaphors today. But I hope that makes a lot of sense, because you can only attract from where you are. If you are broken, and we're all broken to some extent, we will only attract other broken people. But if you're working on becoming whole, you can attract people that are also working on becoming whole. And it's not so much you feeling their need and they're feeling your need and just getting pulled down by that kind of relationship. So some stuff to think about for you this week. Do journaling if you have to. And I'm feeling like journaling is really a helpful way to work through this stuff and to figure out what it is that you really want. But if you've got additional questions, please reach out in the comments below. And I also wanted to let you know, if you're curious about what Spirit is trying to say to you specifically, what personal message Spirit has for you, or if you have some questions that you're trying to sort out, I am offering intuitive readings over Zoom. And you can book them through my website, trueguidance.tarot.com. And I also wanted to invite you to a tarot class that I'm also doing online. If you're interested in reading tarot or learning about intuition, you can come whenever you feel like it, and you're certainly welcome to do that. Again, trueguidancetarot.com, and I'll see you next week.